Okay guys, I just got back from a little ride around the neighborhood here. Took it down the highway for a couple miles just to get the engine good and warmed up, and just enough so the fan will start coming on. And it sounds like the fan just came on. So let me show you the problem here. If the fan's on, and if I hit the blinker, you can see the temperature light kind of flashes in sync with the blinker. Same thing here. If I hit the brights, see that little flash on the temp light. Now see there, the fan just shut off, so now it doesn't have the problem at the moment. If the motor gets really hot, it'll sometimes the temp light will flash with the blinker, even if the fan's not on. But there we go, the fan just came on. Turn my blinkers on. So I've been fighting with that problem for weeks, trying to solve it. Replaced the thermostat, replaced all the coolant, replaced the temperature sending unit, replaced the temperature light indicator unit. Checked all my ground connections, got all the ground connections good and tight. They were already good and tight. Eventually I found the problem to be a ground connection. I'm going to show you in just a minute how to test if you've got that same problem, and then I'm going to go ahead and implement the solution that I've come up with. So there, fan just came on. There's the problem. Okay, I'm going to turn this off for a minute and come back and show you how to test if you can solve it like I'm planning on solving it. Okay, I shut the bike off temporarily here, and I've taken the seat off just so I can get better access to this here. This is the temperature sensor indicator unit. And from a little educated guessing and experimentation, the problem seems to be that this ground wire, this dark green ground wire, you know, it goes into the harness here, and somewhere back in that harness it joins to other ground wires, or you know, to the main ground wire. And I think that connection back there in the harness is degraded a little bit, and I think that's the problem. And I devised a test for that, which I'm going to show you how to do. What I'm going to do is, and I may have to turn the camera off. Okay, hang on. Okay, I turned the camera off for a second just so I could get this, you have two hands to get this unplugged here. So my theory was that if I ran this green ground wire directly to ground, and which, handily enough, the main chassis ground is right here, so you couldn't even be more convenient. My theory was just giving that a nice good ground connection would resolve this issue. And before I started cutting wires apart and trying that, I wanted, you know, I thought of a way I could test that. And what I've come up with to test it is I've just got a scrap piece of wire here, and I've got just maybe about 1/8 of an inch of insulation, of wire exposed at the end. And the reason being, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shove this in here. So the dark green ground wire connects right in here on this terminal. And I'm gonna shove this black wire in here and then plug this in, and essentially just, you know, tap into the ground here, into the ground wire. But I want this to be short because I don't want it you know, coming over and shorten between another terminal. So I'm going to keep that short. I'm going to shove it in there, and then I'm going to shove this connector back in on top of it. So let me go ahead and do that, then I'll turn the camera. Okay, I'm back. So I took that black wire that I was showing you a minute ago with the short bit of wire exposed at the end, and I put it in the terminal on the socket where the dark green ground wire plugs into, and then I just kind of cram this whole plug back into there, and so you can see this wire runs down in there now. And so I'm gonna, if I turn my ignition on, you can see the temperature light comes on for a few seconds. Let me turn it back off and back on. So I know that I've got that plug plugged in far enough to be working how it's supposed to. And I'm going to test that further in a minute. I'm going to show you. But so I've got that ground wire running out here now. I've tapped into the ground. And to really check that and make sure that I've got that connected in there, I've got a multimeter here, which has a continuity setting, and if there's continuity, it'll beep. So what I'm going to do, just to make sure that this black wire here is actually going down into ground, is I'm just going to make sure I've got continuity here between this bracket, you know, just anywhere on the frame or of the bike, and then I'm gonna touch this, and I should hear a beep, and I don't. I think that just wasn't touching there. Where can I put this? Dang it. Maybe I'll edit this part out. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I think that's touching. Let me touch this black wire. No, no good. Hold on, I'm going to use two hands here. Okay, I'm back. I figured out. So the reason that test wasn't working is because I still had the ignition on, and I was getting a reading on my voltmeter. So you know, a resistance reading. But anyway, to do this test of testing when you're testing to make sure you've tapped into ground good, you want to turn the ignition back to off. And now my test should work. So here I'm going to put one lead up against the frame. Okay, see, there you go. That's making a connection there, you can see. And then if I touch this here, I should hear a beep, and I do. Okay, so I've tapped into the ground.